Yeah, it's really cool, man. That's why I was so surprised the series took off, because it's such a good job that I was assumed to be, canceled or something. But
I'm so sorry, sir. He's a diversity hire. That'll be $675. And zip up your vest.
Remember when Comedy Central meant South Park and nothing else? Then, in 2010, they dropped an animated show about a social worker helping zombies, demons, and werewolves integrate into New York City. And suddenly adult animation got weird in completely new ways. Ugly Americans didn't have the cultural impact of its network siblings, but it created a cult following by treating the apocalypse like a bureaucratic inconvenience. The show that proved you could make monsters boring by giving them day jobs and relationship problems.
Did ye two traverse? Answer me this riddle verse!
That they have all the answers.
Today, we're diving into 15 weird and wonderful facts about the series that deserved way more seasons than it got. Hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into shows that were canceled too soon. Let's start with number 15. 15. The show was originally a web series that Comedy Central discovered. Ugly Americans started as a low-budget web series called 5 On, created by Devin Clark, and uploaded to various animation websites in 2008. The premise was identical. Monsters living in New York, dealing with mundane problems. Comedy Central executives stumbled across it while researching potential animated properties and immediately saw potential. They contacted Clark directly, offered to develop it for television, and gave him creative control most first-time showrunners never get. The transition from web series to cable TV required completely redoing the animation style, hiring voice actors, and expanding the world building significantly. Clark had been making the web series alone in his apartment, using basic animation software. Suddenly, he had a budget, a writer's room, and Comedy Central's resources. 14. Matt Oberg, Mark, was cast because he sounded aggressively normal. Mark Lilly, the show's human protagonist working in social services for monsters, needed to sound like the most boring, well-adjusted person imaginable. Comedy Central auditioned hundreds of voice actors looking for someone who could make empathy sound tedious. Matt Oberg's audition was so flat and earnestly helpful that casting directors initially thought he was mocking them. He wasn't. That sincere, slightly monotone delivery was just his natural speaking voice. Oberg had done primarily live-action work and had never voice-acted professionally before Ugly Americans. His lack of voice-acting experience actually helped trained voice actors add too much personality and inflection. Mark needed to sound like a DMV employee who genuinely cares about your paperwork. Oberg's performance grounded the show's absurdity by treating every insane situation as a routine workplace problem. His chemistry with the other voice actors developed over the first season as he learned to play off their more exaggerated performances. The most important character needed the least interesting voice, and Oberg delivered boring perfectly. 13. The animation style changed completely between seasons. Season 1 of Ugly Americans used traditional hand-drawn animation with digital coloring, giving it a rough, organic feel. Between seasons, Comedy Central mandated a switch to entirely digital animation, using Toon Boom Harmony software to reduce costs and speed up production. The visual change is dramatic. Season 2 looks cleaner, smoother, and significantly less interesting. Animators hated the switch because the original style's imperfections gave the show character and made the monsters feel genuinely grimy and uncomfortable. Digital animation made everything too polished, which worked against the show's aesthetic of depicting a decaying, monster-infested New York. 12. Every background character was a different monster species. Ugly Americans' world-building commitment was insane. Every single background character, even ones that appear for a single frame, was designed as a unique monster species with internal logic. The show's animation team created a monster Bible, cataloging hundreds of creature types, their biology, their cultural backgrounds, and how they'd realistically integrate into New York City infrastructure. Zombies work in factories because they don't tire. Demons handle legal work because they're good at contracts. Man-birds deliver packages because they can fly. This attention to detail meant animators couldn't just fill backgrounds with generic monsters. Every crowd scene required intentional species selection based on location and context. 11. Randall Skeffington, Kurt Metzger. Was based on the writer's terrible roommate's Randall, Mark's grotesque wizard roommate, that specific energy of the guy who never pays rent, but somehow convinces you he's doing you a favor by living there. The character's casual sociopathy and complete lack of self-awareness came from real experiences with exploitative friends who treated friendship as transactional. Randall's wizard powers were added to justify why Mark tolerates him. There needed to be some reason beyond masochism. Metzger improvised extensively during recording sessions, adding flourishes and asides that made Randall feel spontaneously terrible rather than scripted. 10. The show was canceled. Mid-production on Season 3. Ugly Americans was canceled in 2012 while writers were actively developing Season 3 storylines, and voice actors had already recorded table reads for early episodes. Comedy Central didn't gradually wind down the show. They just abruptly pulled funding mid-development cycle. The writer's room had planned a 3-season arc with specific character progression and world-building reveals that never happened. Season 2's cliffhanger ending with Callie's demon nature becoming more prominent was supposed to lead into a major Season 3 storyline about demon politics and Mark's relationship complications. None of it got made. Voice actors showed up for a recording session and were told the show was canceled that morning. Devin Clark learned about the cancellation through a trade publication article, not from Comedy Central directly. 9. The Department of Integration was based on actual NYC social services. The show's main setting, the immigrant, just with more fire involved. 8. Leonard's zombie decay. Was continuity accurate across episodes? Leonard, Mark's zombie exist, they'd continue decomposing. 7. Callie's character was rewritten. After the pilot tested poorly. In the original pilot, Callie Maggotbone was a straightforward love interest character, a demon girl dating Mark with minimal personality beyond supportive girlfriend. Test audiences found her boring and questioned why Mark would date someone with no defining traits besides being hot and demonic. The writers completely rewrote her for the series proper, making her a recovering demon with anger management issues, substance abuse problems, and legitimate character flaws that created relationship tension. Natasha Leggero's voice performance shifted from generic sweetness to this combination of trying really hard to be good while constantly failing in entertaining ways. The rewrite made Callie the show's most complex character, someone genuinely struggling with her nature while wanting to be better. 6. The show's cancellation sparked a fan campaign that almost worked. When Ugly Americans was canceled in 2012, fans organized an aggressive Save Ugly Americans campaign that came closer to success than most fan resurrections. They raised money for billboards near Comedy Central's offices, organized watch parties to boost streaming numbers, and flooded the network with letters and calls. The campaign got legitimate media coverage in entertainment trade publications, and several Comedy Central executives publicly acknowledged being impressed by fan dedication. For about 6 months, there was a genuine possibility the show could be uncanceled. Netflix and Adult Swim both expressed interest in picking it up. 5. The show predicted the zombie saturation that would dominate the 2010s media. Ugly Americans premiered in 2010 when zombies were popular, but not yet the oversaturated cultural phenomenon they'd become. The Walking Dead premiered the same year, and suddenly zombies were everywhere. Movies, TV shows, video games, books. Ugly Americans' approach to zombies was radically different, treating them as a mundane minority group dealing with discrimination and integration rather than apocalyptic monsters. This social satire angle on zombie fiction was essentially unique and got completely buried under the avalanche of zombie survival content. By 2013, audiences were so tired of zombies that even a show doing something interesting with the concept couldn't get attention. The show's cancellation coincided with zombie media reaching peak saturation, terrible timing for a series that deserved credit for subverting the genre before it became exhausting. 4. Matt McCarthy, Francis, wrote his own dialogue without scripts. Larry, the terrifying man-bird, was supposed to be a minor recurring character. Matt McCarthy's improvised voice work during recording sessions was so consistently funny that writers started building entire episodes around his character. McCarthy would receive a basic scene outline, no scripted dialogue, and improvise everything in character. His rants about man-bird discrimination, his bizarre relationship advice, and his aggressive masculinity were entirely improvised during recording. Writers would listen to his recordings and build scenes around whatever insane tangents he went on. This created a strange production process where McCarthy's character drove storylines rather than fitting into them. Some episodes feature scenes that exist solely because McCarthy improvised something too funny to cut. Other voice actors complained this was unfair. They had to memorize scripts while McCarthy just showed up and riffed. 3. The show's department was in the Twin Towers location. The Department of Integration's building in Ugly Americans occupies the former site of the World Trade Center towers in the show's alternate New York. This was intentional, not accidental. The show's timeline diverged from reality decades earlier when monsters revealed themselves and integrated into society, changing world history, including 9/11 never happening. The decision to place a major government building on that site was controversial during development. Some Comedy Central executives thought it was too sensitive and wanted the location changed. Devin Clark argued that in a world where demons and zombies exist openly, human terrorism would develop completely differently, and that attack wouldn't have occurred. 2. The voice cast had no idea they were recording the final episode. The Season 2 finale. The Dork Night was recorded as a mid-season episode, with the cast expecting to return for more work later. Nobody told them it was the final episode until months after recording, when Comedy Central announced cancellation. Matt Oberg said the cast had a group chat where they learned about cancellation simultaneously. None of them had been informed by production or the network. They recorded that final episode, treating it as just another chapter in an ongoing story, which is why it ends on unresolved plot threads rather than providing closure. Had they known, the cast claims they would have pushed for different material, or at least asked to record alternate lines, giving the series some conclusion. Instead, the show just stops mid-story with characters in transitional moments that were supposed to lead into Season 3 arcs. 1. Devin Clark revealed the planned series finale in a Reddit AMA years after cancellation. Devin Clark did a Reddit AMA where he revealed the planned series finale for Ugly Americans. The show was meant to run 5 seasons, ending with Mark discovering that human-monster integration was an experiment conducted by higher dimensional beings studying sociological adaptation. The entire show's premise was essentially a cosmic lab where Mark's genuine empathy and desire to help was being tested against systemic obstacles deliberately designed to create failure. The finale would reveal Mark knew this on some level, but chose to keep trying anyway, his persistence despite impossible odds being the actual point. Callie's character arc would culminate in her choosing humanity over her demon nature permanently. Leonard would finally achieve full zombie rights after seasons of discrimination. The department would be shut down, having served its experimental purpose, and Mark would have to decide whether to keep helping people without institutional support. And there you have it, 15 weird and wonderful facts about Ugly Americans. From web series origins to planned endings, we never got to see. Which fact shocked you most? What did we miss? Drop it in the comments. Hit like if you're still mad this show got canceled after 2 seasons. Subscribe for more deep dives into underrated animated series, and share this with a friend who loves weird comedy that deserved better. Until next time, Remember that zombies need love too. Probably